Hello and welcome. Week 10 of the Fawva and Pinto show. Jason will be joining me momentarily. And we're going into Week 10 with our first matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. I was in hiding all week after Matt Moore made the Chiefs defense look terrible. But I've managed to get out of that state of depression. And I'm going to support them against the Broncos. And let's hope for a better game than, making Matt Moore look like Joe Montana.
Or not.
Or not. We'll see what happens. So, first and foremost, Jason, a couple matchups are going to dictate this game. We each picked one. I'll let you go first. What do you see as a big matchup that'll help determine the game?
Big matchup this week, Broncos-Chiefs. We're going to Arrowhead. I really have my eyes set on the Brandon Flowers versus Eric Decker matchup. This is a big matchup because Decker is pretty much our only read option for Tebow throwing the ball. He gets the snap, he looks for 87. If he's not open, he's tucking and running. I really like this matchup for Brandon Flowers because he's an experienced corner. He's coming off a little bit of a schlubbing last week. Decker, he's a big guy, he's quick, he's deceiving. I like Flowers to win this matchup simply because the front seven for Kansas City is going to get after a little bit. Not going to give Decker much time to get down the field and run those quick slant or the deep routes like he likes. I think Decker can succeed with the short passing game, but I don't see Decker going big numbers. Maybe a touchdown, but I don't see him lighting up the secondary, especially Flowers.
And my matchup, and I think the key for both teams is probably to stay out of third and long. So from the Chiefs' perspective, their interior line against the Denver Broncos the interior line of the Broncos defense is going to be important. So I look at Broderick, I struggle to read Bunkley, and Marcus Thomas, and they're going to be up against Ryan Lilja and John Asamoah, as well as Casey Wiggman in there, the 180-pound center the Chiefs still trot out there.
Former Bronco.
Yeah, and hey, I love the guy. He's tough. He gets the job done. But, I look at this and I say, I think the Chiefs can run the ball up the middle, but at the same time, if it's third and long, Ryan Lilja is on the light side. Okay? Now, John Asamoah, I don't worry about him. He's a big, nasty, Big Ten right guard. Love him. But I think in terms of this matchup, I see the Chiefs being able to win the matchup on running downs. But I think the Broncos can win that matchup on passing downs, especially if it's obvious passing downs, if it's 3rd and 10, if it's 3rd and 8. I see the Broncos giving the Chiefs some trouble just because the Chiefs are going to have to put so much attention to Von Miller and Dumervil, especially when Barry Richardson's one of your tackles. Brandon Albert has improved a lot this year. He's still going to need some help with Von Miller. If they put Von Miller over Barry Richardson,
it's Miller time, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for the Chiefs if they get 3rd and long. So like I said, I see the Chiefs winning this matchup in the running game, but I see if it comes down to a pass blocking matchup, I think the Broncos will get the better of it.
It's almost a wash.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's very close. And, coming up, we're going to try to prove we're not homers. All right, we're going to try.
We are, but we're going to try and prove we're not.
I'm going to pick 3 reasons that the Broncos will win.
And I'm going to pick 3 reasons, as much as it kills me to say, that the Chiefs will win.
We are going to try to play the role of the anti-homer, opposite of homer, non-homer. I won't go as far as say I'm a Broncos fan and you're a Chiefs fan. That'd make my heart stop. But, Jason, I'll let you kick things... Or no, I guess I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to kick things off? All right. So I'm going to talk 3 reasons why the Broncos could win. And my first one, honestly, the first one's the one that scares me the most, is the 3rd and long. We talked a little bit about it earlier. If it's 3rd and long in an obvious passing situation, Von Miller and Elvis Dumervil are one of the better, when Dumervil's healthy, one of the better combinations in the NFL of edge rushers. And the Chiefs tackles, Brandon Albert has gotten better, but the truth is both tackles are better run blockers and pass blockers. So to me, that's the one that concerns me the most. I could see Miller having 2 sacks and Dumervil having 2 sacks. And, Castle could be running for his life for the 2nd week in a row. My second key to the Broncos winning would be the running game. And I really see McGahee versus Derek Johnson as a big matchup here. Because Derek Johnson has really turned into what the Chiefs thought they were getting when they drafted him way back in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it took them moving to a 3-4 and putting him as an inside backer where he can just be a tackler. He's not a great pass rusher. Gets a couple sacks here and there on a blitz, but he's just a tackling machine, good in coverage. And I think what the Chiefs are going to try to do is, you know, they play that 3-4 where the defensive linemen hold up blockers. Belcher tries to stuff gaps and then let Derek Johnson make the tackle. So that's going to be a huge matchup. If McGahee wins that matchup, it puts Tebow in manageable situations. So I think if the Broncos can run the ball with McGahee, they have a good chance to win this game. Keep it close and pull it out in the end. And lastly, turnovers. All right, the thing that scares me about a good pass rush like the Denver Broncos have, when you get a good pass rush, that's when quarterbacks rush throws. That's when quarterbacks get stripped. That's when Dexter McCluster fumbles for the 40th time this season. All right, 40 might be a little exaggerated. But the thing that concerns me is, you know, Dexter is a big play waiting to happen. There's no denying that. But he's also a big play waiting to happen for the Broncos. He does that spin move every time he gets hit. And last year, the Chiefs were driving inside the Broncos 20 and had a chance to, I won't say put that game out of reach, but it would have made it very difficult for the Broncos to make a comeback. And what's McCluster do? He gets bumped, all right, and loses the football, and the Broncos, of course, recover. It concerns me. If the Broncos win the turnover battle, they win this game. Because what they are going to do, I don't think they're going to turn the ball over on offense because they're going to play very conservative. So if the Chiefs turn the ball over, the Broncos will win the game. Point blank. Prediction, if these things happen, all right, if my concerns come to the forefront, I think the Broncos win a 20-17 or a 20-14 type game. I can see the Broncos. I am legitimately concerned about the Chiefs' offense. I think it's one of the most predictable, boring offenses in the NFL.
Wow, look at that. He just said the Denver Broncos will win. Ain't no homer side. We've established that, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, Kansas City will win this game because Denver's inability to cover the second wide receiver. Whether it be Baldwin, whether it be Bo, whether it be Preston. I don't know who's going to be that second guy. Who's going to play Champ? Champ has played great against good wide receivers, and he's played bad against good wide receivers. Last year, Dwayne Bowe lit him up. The Broncos lit the Chiefs up, but that little battle, Bo and Bailey, Bo definitely had his way. I think whoever's matched up against Andre Goodman, heck, even if it's Dexter McCluster, Andre Goodman is slowing down. He's a year older. He's our second best corner. We're definitely going to have to look to the draft for a cornerback. I just don't like that matchup. I think whoever's on our second corner, they could potentially have a really big game. Next thing I think the Chiefs will win this game is because the screen to Dexter McCluster. Fawva already went over the whole concept of the Denver Broncos pass rush. The thing that has killed us this year is our pass rush in some situations. We send so many guys on one side, and it's that Dennis Allen, New Orleans Saints, all-out blitz mindset. We send so many guys on one side, we're very, very vulnerable to the screen. We gave a big screen up to the Raiders in week 1 to McFadden. I know McFadden didn't play last week, and Dexter McCluster is not there in McFadden. However, the screen game can be the Broncos' Achilles heel. I think that this potentially could equal some big plays for the Chiefs. That worries me a little bit. However, if Castle decides to throw to a 5'7" black guy who he mistakenly thought was a 6'6" white guy, there could be potential problems for the Chiefs. I just think the screen game will be a big, big play for the Chiefs waiting to happen. Third reason why Kansas City will definitely win this game is the interior pass rush. Talk about Tom Holly on the edge. He typically plays very well against All-Pro Ryan Clady, who's struggling this year with protection simply because I think he's coming off the knee injury, and he's an elite pass blocker. But I think Holly is his toughest matchup. He's got great hand placement. Holly definitely gets after it. But the interior pass rush is the one that I'm going to have my eye on. J.D. Walton tends to get manhandled sometimes by Kelly Gregg. The last 2 years, he's had real trouble with the former nose tackle from the Ravens.
The interior pass rush is a big reason why the Chiefs also could come out victorious. You heard Jeff's prediction. He's going Broncos. He's not saying that because he's in my basement. He's saying that because he calls it as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, no homer aside, the Broncos are hot. The AFC West has become the AFC Worst. We're the NFC West of last year. I'm going to do it. Hold on. Hold on to your seats, kids. Tebow is in the house. Tebow throws for 3 touchdowns. Tebow runs for 2 touchdowns. No homer aside. It's a close one, kids.